many a United States merchant ship plying the waters of the seven seas are seamen with their ambitions to advance in their chosen career. Here are two typical examples. Two seamen who have reached a decision, one to be an engineering officer, the other a deck officer. Many of the officers aboard merchant ships are members of the United States Maritime Service and are graduates of the Maritime Service Officers Training Schools. The United States Maritime Service encourages such aspirations and maintains enrolling officers throughout the country. At the San Francisco office, 1000 Geary Street, these two seamen, with others, are given complete information and advice. Their required sea time, 14 months on deck or in the engine room, is certified from their discharge papers. Then will follow aptitude tests and a physical examination. The United States Maritime Service strives to maintain a continuous stream of trained seamen to guarantee that no ship of the American Merchant Marine will sail without a complete and fully trained crew. At Alameda, California, the United States Maritime Service Officer School is an up-to-date, fully equipped training station which covers 32 acres on the eastern shore of San Francisco Bay. Its dock has a full complement of boats, davits, life rafts, and other gear. And there is a ship's hatch, mast, winches, and booms for cargo handling. Each of its 22 buildings is named after a famous clipper ship of the days when America's merchant marine fleet established records in the annals of sail which stand to this day. Vessels such as the Great Republic, Lightning, Comet, Dreadnought, and Glory of the Seas are thus commemorated. All the streets within the school grounds are named after well-known early-day masters of American sailing ships. Here in Flying Cloud Hall are the administrative officers of the school. Captain Malcolm E. Crossman, USMS, is the superintendent. It is he who steers the ship and who supervises not only the training of the officer candidates, but also the administrative functions of the station. In this building hangs a beautiful hand-carved honor scroll bearing the names of graduates who have given their lives for their country. Having been provided with transportation from their place of enrollment, the officer candidates arrive at the gate of the Alameda School. They are eager to begin their 4-month intensive wartime course, which will graduate them as merchant marine officers with the rank of ensign in the United States Maritime Service. Inside the station gate, the exact time of their arrival is stamped on their papers. Bags are inspected, and any contraband articles such as cameras, knives, and firearms are kept in custody for the duration of the officer candidate's stay at the school. The new officer candidates now proceed, under guidance of one of the station's security patrol, to Shenandoah Hall. Here, just outside the building, they line up to be assigned to a temporary section, after which they are provided with quarters. At the linen locker, the newly arrived officer candidates receive their blankets, bed linen, and towels. Frequently, new officer candidates are recognized by former shipmates and their acquaintance renewed. This often develops into warm friendships. In their rooms, officer candidates are provided with double-deck bunks with a locker for each man and 2 large study tables. They decide among themselves who gets which bunk. Aptitude tests are now taken to reveal the new candidate's general mental ability, mechanical comprehension, speed in reading, and mathematical knowledge. These tests assist each candidate to receive the maximum benefit from this intensified course. The indoctrination of officer candidates continues at sick bay, where they receive inoculations. The medical examination includes a general physical, eye, ear, nose, and throat, also Wasserman and blood typing. No excuse for toothaches when a dental clinic such as this is available to not only officer candidates, but also to all administrative personnel. Expert care is provided by experienced dentists attached to the United States Public Health Service. All new arrivals are fingerprinted for proper identification purposes for both present and future use. Prior to the issuance of uniforms, the men are given drill instruction in their civvies to acquaint them with the commands used in the Saturday morning reviews. Issued to new arrivals are all items of wearing apparel, including khaki and blue uniforms, topcoats, underwear, and shoes. Next comes a most important step in the lives of the new officer candidates, the distribution of textbooks. The noon hour brings a welcome respite after a busy morning, for it means both a recess and chow time. Meals are served cafeteria style. These officer candidates never fail to bring along hearty appetites. They find the food always plentiful, wholesome, and appetizing. The galley is complete in every respect. Cleanliness is the watchword of the crew of cooks and bakers who take pride in their culinaries to kill. The engineer training officer advises the new candidates how to get the most out of their engineering studies. He informs them that they will have to apply themselves earnestly in order to pass the course. And these engineering students listen intently. Deck students are likewise counseled as to their future studies by the deck training officer. And likewise, the deck training students listen to the officer's remarks with undivided interest. During the period of indoctrination, the new officer candidates are addressed by the superintendent, the executive officer, and the training officer, who discuss the advantages as well as the problems of the school. Those new candidates who have chosen the deck course now turn to the serious business of learning to be licensed deck officers in the United States Maritime Service. They begin their studies with a class in navigation. This navigation course is given in both lecture and demonstration form, supplemented by routine practice on the part of the new officer candidates in the various problems connected with navigation. The navigation of a vessel requires the accurate use by the ship's officer of many technical instruments, particularly the sextant. The studying of this instrument is begun in the classroom, where the adjustments are learned and the reading of the instrument is practiced. This is followed by the measurement of altitudes of heavenly bodies on the bridge. Each officer candidate becomes thoroughly familiar with this instrument during his course of training. The taking of bearings and the determination of the error of the compass are operations in which an officer must be skillful. The mysteries of the gyro compass are explained thoroughly. Its many accessories are likewise investigated, and each officer candidate must become familiar with the operation and maintenance of this intricate machinery. To effect this end, a gyro lab with the most up-to-date equipment serves to afford a constant source of interest for all concerned. Here are a resistor panel, amplifier, main control board, a repeater to indicate the readings of the master compass, and a course recorder which indicates how well the ship's course is being steered. Mathematics, as outlined for the deck officer candidate, is based on the mathematical requisites of the navigation, seamanship, and cargo handling courses. Students in the engineering course are also required to take mathematics. Due to the wide variance in previous educations of the officer candidates, it is necessary to cover all phases of required mathematics. Instruction in cargo handling includes, besides the lecture and problem course, practical handling and stowage of general, liquid, bulk, and special cargoes. Here the class is receiving instruction on vessel load line marking. Classroom study is consolidated by actual operation of the cargo handling gear. Today, smoke from any part of the ship is drawn up to the bridge where both audible and visible evidence of fire and its location are instantly detected. Accuracy and coolness in reporting are acquired by practice with the equipment. The radio direction finder proves invaluable during a fog at sea. Precise manipulation is required to obtain the best results, and each officer candidate acquired that skill during his training. Putting into practice what has been learned in the classroom is emphasized. Plotting bearings and the selection of one's position at times requires careful interpretation. Officers experienced in their profession comprise the faculty and constantly supervise all phases of training. Officers must be thoroughly acquainted with and understand the regulations applying to safety measures, devices, and equipment required aboard ship. These are necessary to safeguard lives and property. Firefighting equipment, gas masks, lifeboat and life raft equipment are only a small portion of the gear discussed during this course in which both deck and engine classes receive instruction. The course in seamanship includes ship construction, ship's dimensions, tank vessels, stability, rigging, ground tackle, duties of a ship's officer, ship's business, winds and weather, tides and currents, ship handling, and small boat handling. Many visual aids are used in the course together with the necessary text material. The course in signals is divided into lectures and actual practice with flag hoist and semaphore. Masts, rigged with signal halyards and blinker lights, simulate conditions at sea, and conversations, both coded and plain language, are carried out. A ship's officer must be adept at signaling, capable of sending and receiving, coding and decoding, both accurately and swiftly. Convoy procedure as a course includes convoy organization ashore and afloat. It also includes maneuvers in convoy as well as wireless and voice radio procedure. Many rules and regulations are difficult to understand, but with this convoy maneuvering board placed in the classroom, interpretation becomes visible and easy. Since responsibility for handling barrage balloons lies with the master and the ship's officers, officer candidates are taught use of equipment, inflation and deflation, physical properties of gases, safety precautions, harbor restrictions, and convoy procedure with balloons. Free time means recreational time, and the station offers plenty of clean fun. Name your favorite soft drink. They've got it right here at the canteen. This is a favorite gathering place for the students to relax and discuss their problems. The ship service store has a diversified stock of attractive merchandise. In the auditorium, the latest movies are shown regularly twice a week in the evening, and the men thoroughly enjoy a couple of hours away from their studies, which they still have time for after the show. For those who seek muscular development, there is a gymnasium in the auditorium basement. Softball is a favorite game among the officer candidates, and the rivalry is very keen. The Welfare Library, one of the many functions of the station chaplains, offers a wide selection of reference books and the latest fiction. Now for more athletic sport. Basketball finds many participants among the enrollees. And volleyball is another well-liked recreational sport. Fine tennis courts attract followers of this vigorous pastime. There's even a horseshoe pitching pit for anyone who likes this sport, and it too has its share of advocates. Regulations govern the visiting hours at the school. Officer candidates are granted liberty without partiality, provided their grades and conduct are in order. For engineer officer candidates, the study of diesel engines is very important. This shows the various models in the diesel lab, where lectures, visual aids, and practical demonstrations are used to teach the principles and maintenance of diesel engines. Officer candidates assist the instructor to keep the many engines in operating condition. A practical as well as technical training is acquired in the reciprocating engine course by coordinating laboratory drills with classroom lectures. This model steam reciprocating engine is identical to a Liberty ship engine, except that it is much smaller in size, but operation, nomenclature, and maintenance are readily pointed out by the officer instructor. Of equal importance is the study of boilers. Since they are pressure vessels, rigid operating instructions are imperative. Details of construction and operation are explained on this cutaway water tube boiler. All types of boilers are covered, so that officer candidates will be sufficiently trained for both the licensing examinations and their subsequent responsibilities as marine engineers. Water for use in high-pressure boilers must meet very rigid limitations. This requires frequent testing in order that the standards be maintained. This test determines the alkalinity of boiler water, which is defense against acid corrosion. By adding an indicator, the sample turns pink, indicating an alkali. Slowly add an acid, the water clears, thus determining the alkalinity. Many of the present-day ships which use high-pressure steam are propelled by steam turbines, and so the turbine lab is equipped with the various training aids to facilitate instruction. Turbines are also used for driving smaller machinery such as pumps, generators, and other high-speed equipment. Here is a turbine rotor, which gives a clear idea as to the construction and operation of large marine units. Officer candidates are always eager for informal instruction such as this. Another course taught is auxiliaries. This covers all types of pumps, auxiliary machinery, and an elementary study of physics which defines pressures, vacuum, and other principles. Many instruments are used as teaching aids in the study of physics. This particular one demonstrates head pressure. The most common and useful skill for a marine engineer is that of a machinist. The machine shop course consists of both lathe and bench work. A good machinist not only cuts down the maintenance costs, but often eliminates major breakdowns or prolonged delays. Turning, boring, thread cutting are practiced to accomplish the making of small projects on the lathe. A knowledge of electricity is required for the prospective licensed engineer. This shows the switchboards in the electricity lab and the steps necessary to cut generators in on the line. Drawing is vital in all phases of engineering, and so the engineering students are given a course in mechanical drawing in which orthographic projection, as well as freehand drawing, are practiced on subjects such as valves, pump glands, boilers, and many other items, all of which are licensed examination material. And here is the actual result of their work. Ship's officers on many occasions must administer first aid. Actual demonstration is the keynote of these classes. A certificate is issued by a doctor of the United States Public Health Service at the completion of the course. This rubber life suit is used by seamen who have had to abandon ship. It not only provides buoyancy, but protects them from the elements as well. An abandoned ship tower is used to create the height of a ship's side and thereby accustom the officer candidates to situations encountered during an emergency at sea. Notice the ease with which the swimmer remains afloat. Seamen must be able to swim with their clothes on and must also be able to get into a lifeboat from the sea. Inflating one's trousers to provide additional buoyancy is a practical trick. This course in water safety places emphasis on situations which have arisen at sea. It equips each officer candidate with knowledge vital to his survival. All must be able to swim before graduating. Rafts aboard ship are mounted in skids for rapid launching and are fully provided with emergency equipment. Looks cumbersome, doesn't it? But those canvas sides are worth their weight in gold when seas are running high and the air is filled with salt spray. The best way to become expert in a boat is to learn how to row, and the officer candidates do plenty of rowing. There is constant practice in actual boat handling with an instructor in the boat while underway. The immediate purpose of the course is to provide the officer candidates with the knowledge and experience necessary in handling lifeboats. Sailing on the waters of San Francisco Bay is done in 26-foot surf boats. And speaking of aquatic training, there's a real thrill in store for candidates who participate in the station boat races. The reward of the coxswain in the winning boat is, uh-oh, into the drink he goes. Every man to a specific job. Speed without confusion is acquired only through practice in the art of abandoning ship. Here, davits are cranked out. The boat is lowered. The officer candidates slide down man ropes into the boat. Now they shove off in the bow. Approximately 1 minute has elapsed since the men approached the boat and got underway. After drill, the boat is hoisted and made secure. Officer candidates are required to maintain clean quarters at all times. The occupants of the cleanest rooms and the most officer-like sections receive a special award, so competition becomes keen. Officer candidates are really on their toes at inspection. This is an important occasion, and there are few irregularities which escape the inspecting officer's watchful eye. Not only untidy or dirty rooms meet his attention, but uniform or personal shortcomings will receive comment. Raising the colors is a ceremony that always brings a thrill to every American, whether in the service or out of it. The Saturday morning inspection and review is a colorful and impressive spectacle. It brings a break in the daily routine and gives every officer candidate a feeling of pride in himself, in the school, and in the United States Maritime Service. student body is mustered on the field for personnel inspection, and the inspecting party proceeds through the ranks, seeing that all hands are neat and in the proper uniform. After inspection, the officer candidates pass in review before a reviewing party comprised of the superintendent and his staff. Weekend liberty follows the review for all except those on the duty division or having academic difficulties. The all-important step in completing the course at the school is the examinations for licenses. 5 days are required to complete these examinations. Today is graduation day. The officer candidate invites his family and friends to witness the ceremonies. Now comes the great moment in the life of every officer candidate, his graduation. This is the pinnacle toward which he has striven, and in reaching it, he has become a commissioned officer in the United States Maritime Service. The superintendent extends his congratulations and good wishes to each graduate as he receives his diploma. After presentation of diplomas, officer candidates are sworn in as officers in the United States Maritime Service. Gold stripes on their sleeves, which denote their officer rank, are covered until this is done. The removal of that covering braid is a signal for much personal satisfaction. There's a belief that it brings good luck for a graduate to let his mother, wife, or his sweetheart remove the cloth covering over his gold stripes. No sooner are the graduation ceremonies concluded than the newly made Maritime Service officers race across the parade ground to carry out one of the school's treasured traditions. Each graduate lines up and takes his turn at ringing the ship's bell, which hangs in a permanent frame on the edge of the parade ground. He strikes 8 bells to signify completion of his 4-month watch and the receipt of his license, diploma, and commission. The United States Maritime Service Officer School Band, an outstanding musical organization, plays the music for all of the school's dances, including the memorable event in the candidate officer's life, the dance, which follows the graduation ceremony. Usually there is one girl present, wife or sweetheart, who is there to thrill with pride over the officer's success. Now this story of 2 officer candidates is ended, for both have achieved their goal, a goal within the reach of every American who would go to sea in ships and heed the call of his country as an officer in the United States Maritime Service.